In this video, we're going to talk about how Journey Apps automates version management of your code. Keeping track of versions in your codebase at various stages of the development process is a standard practice, and with Journey Apps this is no different. The Journey Apps web-based development environment, OXIDE, allows you to automate this process in one of two ways. Firstly, through OXIDE's built-in git-based revisions mode, and secondly, through linking your app project with a remote Git repository. As a developer, you have the ability to choose which one of these options to use for each new app you're working on. Because OXIDE's built-in revisions mode is automatically set up for you, it's a very convenient way to manage code-based versions of prototypes or projects where you'll be the only developer working on the app. It takes zero configuration and allows you to get building fast. For larger projects, linking your app with a remote Git repository, like one hosted on GitHub or Azure repos, gives you the ability to bring OXIDE into your existing DevOps practice. Developers can work on different Git branches and complete work using Git best practices, including code reviews and methodologies like trunk-based development or Git flow. Let's take a look at OXIDE to see how each of these version management approaches work. When you create a new app on OXIDE, you're given the option to select a source control mode. I'm going to select revisions mode here, click next, and choose a blank app template. That's it. My app, including an integrated cloud database, has been created and is ready for me to build out. In the bottom left of my screen, you'll see OXIDE telling me that my brand new app hasn't been deployed yet. Since I have auto deploy enabled, which I can see when I search for that setting up on my command palette, any change to this app's code will be deployed to the testing environment. You can see the app auto-deploying as I make some changes to this app. Navigating through the Deployments tab, I can see the testing environment and browse through deployment logs that have automatically been created by OXIDE. Saving a version of my code using revisions mode is easy. I'm happy with my latest code updates, and I want to deploy the app to a staging environment for end users to access. To save a version of my code, I can bring up my command palette and search for the Save Changes function, or I can click Save Changes at the bottom of my screen. Let's name this version First Staging Deploy. Now, let's make some more changes to the app. Let's say I want to revert to a previous revision. I can do that from my Changes panel, or from the command palette by searching for a revision. Another great feature is that I can see the diff of my code between revisions, which is very useful for tracking which changes were introduced at what time. OXIDE also supports linking an app project to a remote Git repository. We can see how this works by selecting GitHub as the source control mode when creating a new app. I can now create branches directly from OXIDE that will allow me to edit code and merge my work back into master when I'm ready. This doesn't mean that you will lose the diff viewer functionality. You can still access this if you're integrated with GitHub. This allows me and my team to enforce security best practices on the application code, using GitHub functionality like branch protection to ensure that only authorized changes are made to production apps. You've seen that OXIDE gives developer teams flexibility in managing code versioning. The built-in revisions mode allows you to get started on a new app quickly, while linking your app project to a hosted Git repository gives you the full power of Git, and allows you to keep using the DevOps processes that you've already put in place around Git. This is a truly unique functionality that Journey Apps brings to the market. No other mainstream app development platform has this capability. OXIDE builds on this by taking Git integration to the next level. For example, by providing a fully fledged diff viewer from GitHub-linked apps. To get a full sense of just how big of a leap forward OXIDE represents, get in touch with us to get access.